Hi there, Neil Clark here from Falkirk Piping, www.falkirkpiping.com. Welcome to the channel. Videos contained here are designed as memoirs for my pupils, although they're free for anyone to use. If you are benefiting from the videos, please subscribe to the channel. This is completely free to do. May I also ask that you consider supporting my chosen charity, Parkinson's UK, by donating to my Just Giving page. The link to that page can be found in the comments box below this video. Welcome to lesson number 26 in our How to Learn the Bagpipes series. This lesson concerns the third part of the Holy Trinity of Green Hills of Tyrol, When the Battle's O'er and Lochanside. This tune is in fact Lochanside, and where we're going to take it from is the Scots Guards Book of Standard Settings, Volume 1. Perhaps the most accessible. I'm not going to claim it's the best setting, but it is the most common setting. Can't see anything in particular wrong with it, and that's what we're going to use today. The tune is in 3/4 time. It is a retreat march, and it's in 3 parts, which is quite unusual. To begin, let's just go over the tune in total. Now, pretty bog standard version actually, nothing greatly wrong with it. I'm going to point out 1 or 2 slight individual parts of the tune as we go along. There's nothing really to mention in part 1. Let's have a look at the phrases first of all, and straight into a low G for the throw in D to start the tune off with. The first phrase consists of the first 2 bars. Throw in D, a cut E up to a G grace note on F. There's full beat on that F before 2 quavers, a doubling on F, and up to high A for the first bar. The second bar coming off high A to an F grace note back up to G, down to E, evenly there, doubling on F, and close down to low G for the throw again. From the high A at the end of bar 1. Let's have a look at that first phrase in total. It's quite a signature phrase. The tune is pretty recognisable for that alone. So, nothing vastly technical in that. The tune is quite busy with embellishments, especially in this version. I'll leave it up to you just how exactly you actually copy this version. Next we have, pretty much echoes. Moving along from the start of bar 3, a long high A, a connecting note of F, down to low G for a throw in D, an open D strike, that's the G grace note, this time to D, and the D finger only bounced off the chanter, an open D strike there. That's held, the connecting note of E, doubling on F, G grace note to low A, doubling on F, and a further doubling on E to finish. So quite a busy version there. Try and keep all these doublings, the throws as well, keep them nice and open so that you can hear each component part. So what we have there is the first 4 bars of the tune. In most cases that would actually be the first line, but we're crammed together and the parts actually finish in weird spots here in the Guards book. However, the first 4 bars, something like this. Now we need to borrow that last E to continue into the second 4 bars. This is the third phrase, the third 2-bar phrase, because the first thing we encounter coming from that last E is a strike to a held E, through a short D to a doubling on C, a grip back to C, low G, D grace note to low G, and 2 fingers up as 1, up to high A, moving down to the next line as contained in the Guards book, an F grace note to high G, E, a throw in D, and an E grace note down to low A. So if we come off the E at the end of bar 4, we can include this strike. The next 2-bar phrase is I'll do that again. Okay, don't be in any hurry to come off that to the next note. G grace note to a held E for the final 2-bar phrase. G grace note to a held E, travelling note, connecting note of F to a high G doubling, then a strike to high G, down to B, nice open doubling on C, an E grace note to the A, and close for a throw in D, followed by a G grace note open strike to D again. So again with that phrase. Nice high-pitched screech from the chanter there. If you wish to, please pause the video at this point to have a practice at that part. Whether or not you've paused, we're now going to play the first part in full before moving on to part 2. That part is, of course, repeated. Moving on to part 2, we start that part with a G grace note D strike as well, although in my edition of the Guards book, the strike is written as a heavy strike, which means rather than the open strikes we've been doing where we do the G grace note and bounce 1 finger off, this asks us to do the G grace note on D and bounce all 3 fingers off at the one time. Now I'm not going to come right out and say that's an error, because it is a different part of the tune and it may be included to make the opening of the second part sounds just a little bit heavier. But I'm going to leave that up to you. If you don't want to swap your style of D strikes in the one tune, then I would say that's absolutely fine. To be honest, I don't think I would do it either. But in the book it is written as a heavy strike, and we'll leave it up to you. So the first phrase then, spending a lot of time up on the high A, and a lot of long high A's there as well. G grace note, full D strike, connecting note of F to a high A, doubling. Strike that high A connecting note of G to a half doubling on F, connecting note of G again to a high A doubling, and a half doubling on F. Once more. Now for the next 2-bar phrase, we get a little bit involved. This is bars 3 and 4 of part 2. We have a throw in D, an E grace note down to low A, a grip from low A to B, high G doubling, hold that high G, connecting note of F, doubling on E from F, connecting note of D, doubling on F, and another doubling on E. It is a very, very busy version of the tune. So that E, for instance, may very well only be a G grace note on E in a lot of versions. Let's have a look at that again. Low G for the throw. Putting that together with the first 2 bars, here's the first 4 bars of part 4. Now, what we have for the rest of this part is pretty much the last 4 bars from part 1. So I don't think we'll explain that other than to remind you that we start with the E strike. So using the E from the end of bar 4 in part 2, so that's a bit of a fast forward really through part 2, but there are only 4 bars to have a look at. So let's play that part in full. If there were any pitfalls I would say to avoid in that part there, it's really to make sure that in bar 3, for instance, coming from the low A, the grip to B, you make sure that you raise both fingers, the A and the B finger together, and don't travel up through the A finger. The same with the grip to C, a little bit further along, C, low G, D, grace note to low G, and back up raising both the B and the C fingers together and trying not to sound 2 notes on the way up there. Now, possibly the most involved part here, part 3, we've got quite a bit going on. In bar 1, right at the very start, we have a doubling on C. We then have a roding from C down to low A. We'll just explain that. C, low G, a B grace note, so it's a single B finger only, back to low G, and then up to low A. It should sound like this using the doubling. Make sure that it's a single B finger that rises and falls there. After that, we have the burrow. Okay, so let's just have a wee practice at that by itself. It's really the meat and bones of part 3. Okay, completing the rest of that phrase, from the A after the burrow we have a D grace note to a C, doubling on A, high G doubling, half doubling on F, closing down to low G for a throw to D. Bar 3 is the same as bar number 1. Bar 4, a high A doubling through a connecting note of high G, a half doubling on F, doubling on E, and a burrow. So bars 3 and 4 will sound putting these 4 bars together. Now, almost finished. The good news is the last 2 bars are exactly the same as the last 2 bars in every part. We have a little exploration to do first in bars 5 and 6 here. From that low A, close down to a throw, through an F, high A doubling, half doubling on F to high A. Now there's a run coming next here in bar 6. Now it may or may not be dotted and cut correctly in your version. I had to put the dots and cuts in myself in my version. But what we're going to do is long high G, F, that's a cut F, G grace note to a held E, and then a D. Now after that we have a doubling on C and a doubling on B. If we put that run into context then from bars 5 and 6, and then we finish pretty much as usual, starting with the E, an open D strike there at the end. So the full part, the full third part, now, I don't intend going through the full tune again, simply because I have 2 minutes to go before the next Skype lesson starts. But that's it, that's it. If anything with this tune, points to watch out for, I would make sure that you can get down to the low G for an efficient throw. Good grips, watch these half doublings where they come in. A few times we finish on a note and then we have a strike on the same note to lead off the next part. So you've really got to watch. If you're going to take a breath in the practice chanter, you need to watch where you're doing it. So I hope you're okay with that tune. Remember, this came from the Scots Guards Book of Standard Settings, Book 1. If you don't have it, please buy it, don't photocopy it, and certainly don't ask me for it. And we'll see you in the next tune or lesson. Thanks for paying attention.